Hey, I'm Stephen Lemieux with AfterBuzz TV, and I just finished watching Russian Doll on Netflix. So, obviously with a show like this that's very mind-bendy and has a lot going on, I kind of wanted to break down my interpretation of it and see what you, as the fans of this show, thought. So, originally, Russian Doll basically takes reality and compares it to programming and coding. So, as if people's lives are codes and programs being executed, our two main characters are codes that are working until a fatal flaw appears in their programming that, when they interact with another, it leads to their deaths, aka a failure. The programmer, God in this example, is basically making small changes within the greater code of the characters, their lives up until this point, to try to see what works to fix the issue. For example, maybe if I remove this line of code, it'll fix it, and that equates to a fish disappearing. Every time it doesn't work, there's a code failure that leads to their deaths. After several rounds of this, you see more and more changes as God removes more and more lines of code to narrow down as to where the issue is, where is the faulty code. As people disappear, the people who are left have their basic programming revealed as, things. They're just interacting with the space they're put in, aka Maxine dancing in circles in the room that's empty and having no issue with there being no furniture. Finally, we're brought to the crux of the issue, faulty code within Nadia's past in which she thinks she sold out her mother, and Alan's inability to see himself as anything but a failure. So, through the trial and error, new code's been created alongside the old code that programs Nadia and Alan to repair the issues within one another's original code, as well as the characters letting go of the buggy code from earlier in their life, aka the programmer is deleting it. God, the programmer, then reintroduces all of the code that was removed to get down to the root source of the issue. A new trial begins where everything's back to normal, but because everything's back to normal, our characters' programs are running independently of one another and no longer interfering, causing the bug. However, each of their faulty code was removed, therefore the issues that arose when their codes intersected was avoided. Alan's code with the faulty Nadia acts to repair her code as he was programmed to within the trial and error, and vice versa for Nadia repairing Alan's code. Now, what people would believe are two independent timelines is actually just the same program running from episode 1, but with changes made to each individual code resulting in both codes being repaired and the programming running successfully, working and moving forward. So, side theories. I think Horse may be the personification of the programmer. He wants to cut her hair and establish a new her that works within his world. He doesn't understand yet how to fix the code, so he's drawing straws, hoping that something works and the new her is born. Another option is that Horse is a Trojan horse program that's infiltrated Nadia and Alan's programming and caused a bug to begin with in the first place. In the working reality at the end, Nadia doesn't interact with Horse and Alan is prevented from interacting with Horse to the level he might have the first night. Thus, they both prevent the other from being infected by the Trojan horse. Another theory is that every time you look in the mirror and see a reflection of yourself, you're backed up like a hard drive, almost like a save point. The party bathroom and Alan's bathroom were data backups, and that's why it starts at that point in time. A lot of these concepts are explained by Nadia when she fixes the code that somebody else in the office tampered with. Also, Alan can't beat video games at all, as he seems to fail regardless of anything. Nadia built a game that was impossible to beat, which contributed to Alan's disorder, and Ruth explains mirrors earlier in it, and Nadia explains relativity, etc., etc. A lot of the show is on the nose if you really listen to the dialogue and talk and think about what they're saying in those scenes and kind of what's going on. But I'm not a writer on the show, so I don't actually know what's going on. I'm also not a programmer, so I'm sure there's like insider stuff that I don't know about as well. This has been my interpretation of Russian Doll on Netflix. I'd love to hear what you guys' theories are. Please tweet at me at Stephen Lemieux or just comment below in the video. Thank you so much for tuning in. I believe we're going to be doing an after show for this show. I will let you know on my Twitter if it starts. But again, it's a quick 8 episodes, 24 minutes an episode, so it's a really fun binge. Hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you next time.